everybody. Welcome to ZK10. How are you feeling today? Good? You're feeling good? All right. Okay, every summit I do this intro presentation. This time around, it's a little bit longer because it's the 10th. It's obviously a big milestone for us. I'm going to introduce myself. So I'm Anna. I'm the host of a show called Zero Knowledge Podcast. I am the co-creator of a project called ZK and I'm the co-founder of a company called ZK Validator. I want to introduce these three things because I think sometimes people mix them up. There are three distinct companies, just FYI. ZK is a learning hub, if you're not familiar with it. If you're interested in getting into ZK, that's the place to check out. And ZK Validator is a proof-of-stake validator running on 10 networks. And with ZK Validator, we do things like invest in ZK, create grants, do industry initiatives. And that's what we do. But this event is produced by the Zero Knowledge Podcast. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm going to be partly sitting, partly standing for this presentation because I have a knee thing. So what is the Zero Knowledge Podcast? It's a weekly show focused on ZK tech and the decentralized web. Started in 2017. There's now 291 episodes. And so we're getting close to 300, and we're trying to figure out what to do. If you have any ideas, get in touch. I have some phenomenal co-hosts on the show, most of whom are here today. Kobe, Nico, Tarun, and Guillermo. I don't know if they're in the room yet, but they're going to be around. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the stage, but I have an amazing podcast team, Rachel and Henrik. I'm on there too, and Tanya, who's going to be hosting this stage with Rachel. You might know her as the voice of the ad every week. Here are our top episodes so far. So every time I do this presentation, we update it. So by top, I mean here kind of fastest growing. We sort of see some of them spike. And the list has changed. The new ones this time are the 2022 end of year wrap up with co-hosts and the Between Two ZK events with Nico and Guillermo, which we recorded at the last zkSummit. If you want to find out any of these links or channel, we have a huge Telegram channel. It's very, very active if you want to join that. If you want to find out more about ZK Hack and join that Discord, check out the link tree. It's all there. Or check out our website, which looks kind of like this. Also, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts if you want to hear more about the show. This event will be on our YouTube channel. It can be found there. And there's a Summit playlist, which has all of our Summit videos. Since I'm mentioning the YouTube channel, I want to highlight something that's been going on now for 3 years, which is the Study Club. If you like these kinds of talks that you're going to be seeing today, this might be a really cool playlist for you to check out. Here, every 2 weeks or so, 2 weeks, or twice a month or once a month, there's these sessions with some of the top cryptographers in the space talking with the person who's presenting the work. So it's a very interactive, very interesting video series. And it's hosted by Alex for the last year and a half. Thank you, Alex, for doing that. There is a jobs board, if you're not familiar. And actually, a lot of the sponsors here today have actually posted their most recent job postings on the jobs board. So if you're looking for a new opportunity to actually work in the space, do check it out. And if you're a team looking to hire, you can also post your jobs there as well. Whew, so much stuff. Okay, now we're going to talk about the event, which I also have a number of slides to share with you because it's ZK10. So, what is the zkSummit? We started this event in March 2018. I hosted it 4 times in Berlin, twice online, once in San Francisco, once in Amsterdam, once in Lisbon, and now we're in London. And I have to say, looking back, it's this event has witnessed the emergence of some of the most revolutionary ZK protocols and ideas. So it's very, very exciting to be here on this milestone event. So I'm going to do a little I'm going to do a little look back. I hope some of you will remember some of these. And I want to ask, who was at ZK1? Is there anyone? Oh my gosh. Yay! Wow, there's 3 people. Okay, Zero Knowledge Summit 1, held in Berlin. That, by the way, I don't know if everyone knows, but that was Frederick, my original co-host on the show. We did the event together. He was my co-host for the first 3 years of the run of the show. Who was at ZK2? Okay, a few more people. That actually, this was a very, wait, oh yeah, there. Ariel's you're in the picture. So this was a great event. That's also one of my favorite photos that I use a lot to just describe the summit. Ariel pointing at math. Who was at the third? I think it's some of the same people. Okay, still about 5 people. Just one, so the interesting, okay, just a little side note. We have no good pictures from the summits. I don't know if you can tell. These are screenshots from videos. Like we didn't have photographers. It's a privacy event. We like really try to keep photos to a minimum, and it shows. But in the middle there, that's a workshop that was held by Mirko from Least Authority. That ended up, I just want to point it out, that ended up becoming sort of the predecessor to the Moon Math Manual that he wrote, and we're currently running a Moon Math Manual study club in the ZK Hack Discord. So it all kind of comes full circle. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. Who was at ZK4 in San Francisco? Oh, Bobbin. Anyone else? Really? Oh, you were there, okay. Okay, we have a couple people. This was the first time I actually got to go to the West Coast and be like I got to meet all these new people working in the space. And I think Zach isn't here yet, but I believe, and I wanted to check this, but I believe that that's Zach presenting Planck for the first time. So, kind of cool. Then we went online. Oh, the disastrous March 2020 online event. Did anyone come to that? So the online 2020, the one that blew up, where everything fell apart. And we ended up, yeah, okay, some people remember this. That was horrible. All the photos from this event look like this, so I just picked 2. It's kind of depressing. ZK6, we kind of knew what we were doing. Did anyone come to ZK6? This was okay. We're starting to get a few more hands, a little bit. ArcWorks was presented. Dark Forest, we learned how to use sort of cool online tools. And then in 2021, we just gave up. We were like, no more online summits. They were so stressful. Henrik and I produced the second one over 2 days, like 6 hours each. It was just like draining, awful. But we couldn't do nothing, so we ended up doing 4 ZK Sessions events, which were shorter form, fun things. Did anyone come to any of these? ZK Sessions, does anyone remember? Okay. We then did a jobs fair. This is like kind of before we were doing jobs fairs at the ZK Summit. Then we launched ZK Hack. So ZK Podcast and ZK Validator kind of co-produced ZK Hack at the beginning. And has anyone participated in ZK Hack here? The event, the online event. Okay, why don't you clap? I want to hear you. So if you participated, okay, ZK Hack, you did ZK Hack. This is, I think, where this audience picks up. Yeah, so we've now done 3 of them. I'm actually going to be announcing at the end of this an upcoming event that ZK Hack is doing. Who was at ZK7 Amsterdam? Clap. Woo! Okay, make some noise. Okay, there we're starting to get some people. Also had no good photos from this, but amazing event. Sadly, these photos totally don't capture that venue with the beautiful courtyard, an amazing day. This was a museum. Yeah, just a perfect event. ZK8 Berlin, who was there? Yeah. This we got some good photos for. I really like Henry. That was me and Guillermo. We were the hosts. That was the whole team. Okay, who was at ZK9 Lisbon? Yeah, okay, now we're getting some action. Very cool. Yeah, ZK9 was fantastic. And we're now at ZK10. Who's here at ZK10? Let's clap for being here. I don't know. All right. We are currently at the Senate House, London. I don't know, somebody told me this 2 days ago, and then I checked it out. This apparently was the inspiration for Orwell's Ministry of Truth in the book 1984. I think that is hilarious. We did not know that when we booked this venue, but I love it. It's from the 30s. It's obviously got a very specific design. Yeah, and we're really excited to be here today and get a chance to do the summit in these spaces. And we have a lot going on. We have a huge program, bigger than ever. We're doing 5 stages this time. We also do have co-working and a quiet room area. So we have the map. We do have a map kind of near the entrance, but I'm going to kind of go through it anyway. You've come in, and you're currently in the main stage. Behind us, over there, are 2 workshop rooms. You can actually get out of these doors and head to Workshop 2 or Workshop 1. There's a few co-working spaces over here that you can use if you're planning on getting some work done. There's a quiet room. And let's see, so Workshop 1 is on the other side of that wall, and then we're gonna be eating, and all the sponsors are over just across from the main stage. That's where coffee breaks are gonna be held as well, so you're gonna be kind of moving between this room, that room, and around. On the second floor, and we realized after we printed this that it should actually be upside down. You'll notice it a little bit when you're looking at the map. So the side stage, you go up the stairs and you actually walk all the way down the hall, and the side stage is kind of on the second floor up there, and the breakout room is on the side of it. So we have, as you could see, 5 stages running. For most of the day, it's gonna be 4, but we do use Workshop 2 twice during the day. So one thing that we haven't done in the past, but we are doing today, this time, is we're recording every single stage. So don't worry if you're missing, if there are too many talks you want to see at the same time. There will be a record of them. You will be able to check them out after. This should be on your lanyards. I won't go through it here because it's very detailed. There are only a few small corrections in terms of speakers, but I believe most of this is up to date. This is the Wi-Fi. If you're not already on it, you are free to, I think it's just open, so yeah. I want to say a massive thank you. I don't know who from the team is here. The ZK10 team this year. So Philip, Kobe, and I were working on programming. Henrik is supporting with the AV. Rachel and I have done a lot on attendee, speaker. But the big thank you and massive, the big thank you goes out to Agni. I feel like she rolled a boulder up a hill again. And I want to just give her a big round of applause. Yeah. I'm so happy with how this turned out. This time around, we also have a ton of MCs. As I cannot be running up and down off the stage, Tanya and Rachel will be emceeing this floor, or this stage. Alex and Henrik will be on the side. Philip and Gaylord will be on the breakout, and Paul will be running the workshops. I think some of these might also be switching just to cover for each other, but here are amazing MCs. I'm so excited that you're joining us again this time and helping us to do this. All right, so let me now thank some of our sponsors. Anoma and Alio are platinum sponsors for the ZK10, recurrent, sponsors that have come back and supported us over and over again. I'm so happy that you are joining us and allowing us to do this event. It really can't help but happen without you. So let's give the platinum sponsors a round of applause. This time around, we have gold sponsors Aztec and Risk Zero. Aztec, we brought zkSummit to London. I'm very glad you came on board. Yeah. Silver sponsors this time around are the ZK Validator, Fenbushi Capital, Geometry, Celestia, and 1KX. And community sponsors are Sysmo, Polychain, Ov1 Labs, Lambda Class, Puzzle, Robot Ventures, ZK Sync, Fabric, Ethereum Ecosystem Support Program, and Lagrange. Thank you to all of the sponsors. We'll give a clap. Last night, we also did a speaker and sponsor dinner, which was sponsored by Fenbushi, ZK Validator, and Geometry. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for putting that on with us. Cool. Yeah, we'll give a big clap. All of the sponsors really, it's so wonderful also to see sponsors come back year after year, or session after, zkSummit after zkSummit. And I just really, really appreciate that. So every time I do a summit, there is an application form. And on the application form, there is a question. I feel these have been getting harder and harder every time. We asked this time, how would you explain folding schemes to a friend? And we got a few answers. We always choose a few. These ones, just FYI, are a little longer than normal, so I'm going to read through them, but you'll have to bear with me for some of them. Okay. What is a folding scheme? A folding scheme compresses 2 NP statements into 1 NP statement. The compressed one is satisfiable if the original NP statements are satisfiable. It's a recursive proof protocol that basically smushes multiple individual ZK proofs into a proof sandwich for end consumption. Instead of proving each step, all computations are folded into a single mega circuit goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of squeezing, mushing, squishing. If we have two apples, we squeeze them together, and now we only have one apple, approximately. But we take any damage done to be part of our witness, and where an apple is a recurrent computational step, we want to prove. How would you explain folding schemes to a friend? I cannot. So we got a lot of these. I do not know, I don't know, I looked it up, I asked my friend. This was a hard one, we could tell. Another thing we saw a lot of is I would talk to them about origami and hope they don't know what ZK is. Okay, we learned something this time around, people. If you ask ChatGPT what folding schemes are, which are a really new thing, they looked through the database, or it came up with only folding schemes related to origami. Apparently that's a thing. So we got so many answers about origami that were completely incorrect. We're going to keep doing that. Like, we're on to you. So next time, we're going to make sure we get something so cutting edge, it doesn't know anything about it. But it was really funny to see the sort of variations of what it came up with. Okay. Depends on the friend. So explain folding schemes to a friend. Depends on the friend and their state of mind, but as an opening gambit, I would simply say it's a mathematical optimization mechanism that permits a ton of facts to be verified at the same cost of proving a single fact. Some of these are very good. Folding schemes enable efficient incremental verifiable computation, or IVC, so that instead of verifying n proofs for n steps of a computation, the verifier could verify a single proof that aggregates the proofs of all of these steps together. Okay, we have a long one coming up. How would you explain folding schemes to a friend? Folding schemes stem from a combination of laziness and procrastination applied to ZK proof generation and taken to its extreme consequences. You know that you should clean your flat every week, and each time you promise yourself that you will do it next week. The cool thing of folding schemes is that, unlike in real life, dirt does not accumulate, and when you finally decide to do the cleanup, the cost is the same as if you had done it straight away the first week. Somebody does not want to clean their room. All right. How would you explain folding schemes to a friend? Friends don't explain folding schemes to friends. And I think this is the last one. First there were two, then there was one. A linear combination, how accumulation is done. Thank you all for these fantastic answers. Every time. I love these. All right, and I think that wraps up my part of the intro. We are going to now be welcoming our top sponsors to the stage to say a few words. But right before I do that, these are our hashtags. That is the Twitter. Take some photos. It turns out we don't have any ever, so share it online. And I'm very excited to announce that ZK Hack. So last time we did ZK Hack Lisbon and zkSummit together. We kind of burned out from doing it so close together. We decided this time to separate them. But ZK Hack Istanbul is taking from that initial kind of ZK Hack Lisbon spirit, and we're doing our second IRL hackathon. It's a very different event from this one. It runs over a weekend. It's good. We have an amazing venue. You can already apply at zkistanbul.com, and we're going to be sharing this on the Twitter for ZK Hack, in the Discord. But I feel like this is a fantastic audience to share this with, that, we're going to be doing this. It's still, 6-7 weeks away. Book your travels. If you're already coming to DevConnect starts the Monday right after that. We're kind of piggybacking with that. So yeah, I hope to see you there. Last time ZK Hack Lisbon was so phenomenal. The outcome was kind of mind-blowing. We didn't expect so many people to actually be able to build things, and they did. And so yeah, I hope you'll join us for this one to continue that. Okay, now I'm finished. Alex, please come to the stage, share with us a little bit about what you want to share. And this is Alex from Alio, one of our top sponsors.
Hey, everybody. So hi, as Anna mentioned, I am the CEO of Alio, but actually my slides this morning, I have maybe a little bit about that, but in general, I just want to come to you and present for a few minutes, liberally take advantage of my 5 minutes on the mic, and just give some of my thoughts about this conference and why we're here and where ZK is going. And just kind of give some commentary around that. And I guess I mentioned I'm the CEO of Aleo. I'm also very proud to be the main organizer around Z-Prize, which is focused mostly on hardware acceleration for ZK snarks. And I'm also the host of ZK Study Club, so I would second Anna's plug on that. It's been personally and everything you're about to hear from me, you should understand it comes from a layman. So I'm an operator, I'm not a cryptographer. There's many great cryptographers and other folks in the space that are presenting here. But for me, coming as a layman, resources like ZK Study Club are amazing to help accelerate the learning curve and better understand some of the fundamentals of this space. So I recommend folks check it out. Okay, why are we here? There's on the website, there's like the mission for ZK10, and I actually don't want to pretend to know why all of you are here. So I'm just going to tell you why I'm here and talk for a few slides about that. So I'm here because I think zero-knowledge cryptography is going to change the internet. Like not just Web3. I know many people here from blockchain companies. I myself, of course, am the CEO of a Web3 company. But I think fundamentally this concept of being able to prove something without revealing why it's true in a succinct manner is a game-changing technology that 50 years from now, I think we'll look back and view this as the genesis of something really special, a true revolution in technology. And I think we have to acknowledge, oh, by the way, before I present this slide, I'm sure offend many people who are cryptographers and researchers by my selection of the body of work that led us to where we get to this point. So I'm sorry. If you have any comments about it, I'll be at the side stage. Come find me. But in general, the point of this slide is to say that we have built, where we are today has been built upon an incredible foundation of prior work that has iteratively over time helped us to arrive at where we are. We're finally at the cusp where many of the schemes that we've talked about over years have become practical, have become useful, right? In a very similar way to, I think machine learning and AI is having its moment, but that of course took 40 years. I think similarly, we're on a similar path of growth. And I think it's amazing. It's one of the most special things about this industry and about this conference in particular. As Anna highlighted in several of her prior slides with pictures, several of the people who have built the schemes that we all rely upon today have presented at prior conferences like this. So, and of course, this is sort of like an exponential curve. So yay, right? We're moving in the right direction. Things are accelerating. We should all feel good about this. But this is where we are, and I think we just have to acknowledge that right now in the world of ZK adoption, this is where we still are, right? So very, very proud of all the work that's been done. Very excited for what the potential is, but I think all of us as builders and practitioners and researchers and cryptographers in the space, we have to acknowledge that we have a long way yet to go. And if we want this technology and this space to be relevant, we have to make it relevant, right? And I think there's a couple really key things that are part of that. The first is, I think all of us as builders and operators in the space have to always keep in mind that we represent not just our companies, not just our teams, not just our research organizations, but the industry, right? When people who are just quote unquote normies are like, hey, Alex, what is zero knowledge cryptography? Or what do you do, right? I think they're gonna take away an impression about whatever I do or whatever I say, but also they're gonna take that and form that impression about the space as a whole, right? And I think speaking as a person who runs a for-profit company building technology in the space, I know there's always pressure to oversell a little bit about what the capabilities of the technology is. And I think there's nothing wrong with doing that to a point, but I do think it's important that we all remember that taken to an extreme, we put the credibility of not just ourselves and our own projects, but the industry at risk. So that's one thing that I think, I want everyone to take away from this and just remember. The other is pursuing practicality. It's been amazing to see all the theoretical advancements in the space, which have very much enabled a lot of practical use cases now. And I think we have to continue to aggressively pursue that direction. Because at the end of the day, this technology will only be relevant if it's something that people use every day. And I think we have to, in addition to the very rightful focus on, new proof systems, et cetera, I think we also need to focus on application development. And the last is my favorite piece, which is embracing collaboration. This space is built on a body of open source work that we all get to rely upon and have benefited from. I just want to take a quick second to call out the Zcash team from the very early days. We all owe a tremendous debt of gratitude for all the work that they have done and all the work that they have inspired. And I'm very proud that we at Aleo have had the opportunity to also, have a spirit of collaboration through our sponsorship of Z Prize, and even through, our setup ceremony, which we actually ran a setup ceremony for 3 Snarks a few years ago. Some people were involved in that in this room, and I'm sure they have painful memories of it. But the good news is we have this, these parameters that were generated are free for anyone to use, right? And all of the software that we build at Aleo is totally open source. And I'll conclude by just saying, I told you nothing about Aleo. If you are curious about Aleo, we have a booth out there. The 2 things you need to know is we're getting ready to launch mainnet, and it's an implementation of ZK, so programmable privacy. If you want to learn more, come find me, grab some swag. And thank you all very much for the opportunity to be here, and thank you, Anna, for the opportunity to sponsor this conference.
Thank you, Alex. What a fantastic intro. All right, Awa, please join the stage to share a little bit about Anoma, Namada.
Hey everyone, I'm Awa, one of the co-founders of Anoma and Namada. And many of you probably have heard this about Anoma, and probably have heard about the word intents all over the place, right? And what are intents? They're probably not real, and they're probably all psyops. I honestly, at this point, I don't know anymore. But what I can talk about is that we are building a fully generalized architecture for intent-centric applications. And a big part of the stack is composed by some, Taiga is one of the primitives you might find most interesting, which is Anoma's unified execution environment. And it is what allows us to enable what we call, my bad. So it's what enables information flow control, which is one of the novel properties that intent-centric application architecture can provide. Today, we actually have one of the first workshops on Juvix, which is a language for intent-centric applications. Jonathan will be giving this workshop later at 2. So if you are curious about hacking around this language in this new paradigm, then take a look at that. I think it's going to be really cool. But anyways, so many of you probably have not heard about Namada, and then here I want to quickly run you through what it is. So this is my goal is to speed run you towards what Namada is. So first of all, why? Quick question. Nowadays, user is mostly multi-chain, so you hold different assets, fungible, non-fungible, across different networks and security domains. What do you use for privacy? So the answer that I get most of the time is that most people don't use crypto for privacy, and then the answer that I get a lot of times is that they actually use centralized exchanges for privacy. So yeah, the state of, even though we have amazing cryptography, the state of adoption and user applications is not really good. So what effect is the matter? 2 things. The main thing is, the first thing is asset agnostic and multi-chain privacy. So the idea here is that we started from sapling, and then we extended it so the same shielded set can be shared across all assets, fungible and non-fungible. And then the idea is not that you have to reissue the assets and adopt new assets, but more that you can just get privacy for the assets you currently hold. And then we experimented in it, we extended the circuit to enable a shielded set rewards. So as an experiment of let's reward privacy as a public good. If you contribute to the shielded set, you actually get an extra incentive. So things that we learned from deploying on-chain, privacy-preserving on-chain applications is that in the end, no matter how good and large cryptography is, what matters the most is the size of the anonymity sets. And this is just an attempt to explore different ways where we can incentivize having larger usage, larger sets. Because the larger the shielded set, the stronger the privacy guarantees. And it is because the least data is leaked when the data remains when the transactions remain in the shielded set. Most of the data is actually leaked whenever a transparent address is involved. The least data is leaked when it remains in the shielded set. So the second part of Namada is actually shielded actions. It is a different approach to enable extra functionality, except outside of multi-asset transfers. The idea here is that we want to enable a more composable form of privacy, where users can just get the privacy from the unified shielded set, but they can continue interacting with the applications, the app chains, or applications deployed on transparent chains like Ethereum, like Uniswap. So yeah, this is just, in summary, a different direction in how you can make privacy more accessible, one that retrofits more seamlessly to existing architectures. So yeah, if you're interested in getting involved, we're also getting ready to launch soon. And then you can join Discord, community in Discord, on Twitter. And then the specs are all, code base has been open source and tested for a long time. And then the specs, if you want to check the cryptography. Other than that, our team has a booth as well. So if you can come check out and ask us questions about Anoma and Namada, we'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.